Sgt Matt Ratana died from gunshot wound to the chest when he was shot in Croydon. A post-mortem examination report read at Croydon Coroner's Court confirmed the cause of death this afternoon. The Kiwi officer, known as Matt Ratana, was shot when preparing to search a suspect in a police station in Croydon in the early hours of Friday. Mr. Ratana's suspected murderer, widely reported to be Louis De Zoysa, 23, remains in hospital after he was also hit by a bullet in the incident. Detective Superintendent Nick Blackburn, spearheading the murder probe, told the hearing in Croydon Town Hall that his team would conduct a thorough investigation into this matter. He said, "The murder of Sgt Matt Ratana has deeply saddened all of us in the Metropolitan Police, as indeed it did the whole nation." Close quote. Mr. Blackburn said the officer was shot during in a custody centre in Croydon after the 23-year-old suspect was arrested on suspicion of possession of ammunition and drugs with intent to supply. He said, as Custody Sergeant Ratana entered the holding room, the suspect produced a firearm and discharged the weapon several times, during which time Police Sergeant Ratana and the suspect were wounded. Close quote. Mr. Blackburn said the officer's life was tragically pronounced extinct at 4:10 a.m. at St George's Hospital in Tooting, southwest London. Murder suspect De Zoysa, 23, remains critically ill. Detectives are still to question De Zoysa, who is being cared for by the same team of doctors who treated Sgt Ratana in St George's Hospital. Mr. Blackburn said that a preliminary post-mortem by a Home Office pathologist had found the cause of death to be a gunshot wound to the chest. Close quote. He added, "The murder investigation is pursuing a number of lines of inquiry. We are seeking to establish what happened and why it happened. Ongoing searches are being carried out at a number of crime scenes. Murder detectives are examining CCTV and body-worn video taken of the incident." The hearing, held in the council chambers of Croydon Town Hall, was attended remotely by Sgt Ratana's family, including his 26-year-old son in Australia. Senior Coroner for South London, Sarah Ormond-Walshe, said, "I am opening and adjourning the inquest touching the death of Matiu Ratana, known as Matt Ratana. The police investigation takes priority now, so I am adjourning my investigation." A man was also arrested in Norwich on suspicion of supplying a firearm on Sunday. He has been released under investigation. Police continue to search De Zoysa's family home in Norbury, southwest London, and an address in Banstead, Surrey. The search of this site, which includes more than 30 acres of land, is expected to take days. Deputy Assistant Commissioner Stuart Cundy, responsible for the investigation, said, "The murder of Sgt Ratana sent shockwaves through the net. His colleagues are determined to find justice for him and his family." Police would not comment on what searches had been carried out on De Zoysa prior to the incident, but said no police firearms were discharged. A murder probe has been launched, and the Independent Office for Police Conduct is investigating how the gun got into the custody suite. The suspect had been arrested around half a mile from his house for possession of ammunition and Class B drugs with intent to supply. He had been on foot when he was stopped by a patrol car at around 1:30 a.m. According to the Independent Office for Police Conduct, the suspect was put in a holding area in the custody suite. He is said to have opened fire while still in the handcuffs as officers prepared to search him with a metal detector. No police firearms were discharged in the incident. The sergeant was killed just months before he was due to retire with 30 years service. Met Commissioner Dame Cressida Dick described him as a talented officer who was big in heart. Earlier this week, Sgt Ratana's partner Sue Bushby paid tribute to him. She said, "There aren't really any words for how I'm feeling right now about the loss of Matt, about losing someone I loved and was so close to, in such a tragic manner. I know Matt touched many people's lives with his friendliness, patience, kindness, enthusiasm and caring ways. I had the pleasure of sharing 5 years of my life with this lovely man, my gentle giant, with his infectious smile and big heart. I think of him with tenderness and love. Matt was my partner, friend, confidant, support, and soulmate. He will be greatly missed but never forgotten. Matt will always be in my head and in my heart." Sgt Ratana was also recalled as a popular rugby coach and top police officer. East Grinstead Rugby Club, where he was head coach, described him as an irreplaceable figure.